Everyone says Pacquiao lost because of age. But that's not the real reason. He was losing this fight from the first round. He was losing this fight from the very first round, and almost nobody noticed why. Pacquiao came in aggressive, like always. Fast feet, pressure, but something was off. Every time he tried to close the distance, he got stopped. At first, it didn't look like a problem. Pacquiao was still moving forward, still throwing combinations, still trying to create pressure. But round after round, the same thing kept happening. He would step in, and Ugas would already be waiting. Not faster, not stronger, just one step ahead. And that's when this fight started to become interesting. Because what looked like a close fight on the surface was actually a tactical battle that Pacquiao was slowly losing. The signs were there from the beginning. Most people just missed them. The key was surprisingly simple. It wasn't a devastating right hand or a fight-changing knockout punch. It was the jab. Over and over again, Ugas used it to control the distance, break Pacquiao's rhythm, and force him to reset before he could get anything started. The first sign of trouble. This fight was controlled by one simple weapon, the jab. Every time Pacquiao stepped in, jab, reset, stop, repeat. The jab wasn't doing huge damage. That's what made it so easy to overlook. But every time Pacquiao tried to build momentum, Ugas interrupted him. One jab, one step back, one reset. It forced Pacquiao to start over again and again. Instead of attacking on his terms, he was constantly reacting. And in boxing, that's a dangerous place to be. The more he chased the fight, the more comfortable Ugas became. It wasn't flashy, it wasn't dramatic, but it was winning rounds. In the end, it wasn't about age, it wasn't about power. Ugas simply had the better game plan. And for 12 rounds, Pacquiao never found the answer. He was waiting for this. Pacquiao fights in bursts, and Ugas knew that. He wasn't reacting, he was waiting. Pacquiao's style has always been built around rhythm. He explodes forward, throws combinations, and forces his opponents to react. But Ugas refused to play that game. Instead of chasing the action, he stayed patient. He watched the patterns. He waited for the entry. And the moment Pacquiao committed, the counter was already there. That's what made this so effective. Ugas wasn't guessing, he was anticipating. Every exchange felt like he was one move ahead, turning Pacquiao's aggression into opportunities of his own. The difference wasn't speed, it wasn't power, it was timing. Smarter. Everyone says Pacquiao lost because of age, but that's not the real reason. He was losing this fight from the first round. This is where ring IQ started to make the difference. Ugas wasn't trying to win every exchange. He wasn't chasing highlights or looking for a knockout. Instead, he stayed disciplined and focused on the bigger picture. Every movement had a purpose. Every punch was calculated. While Pacquiao was increasing the pace, Ugas was controlling it. He knew when to engage, when to step back, and when to make Pacquiao miss. That's what separates good fighters from smart fighters. The less Ugas forced the action, the more mistakes Pacquiao was forced to make. And over 12 rounds, that advantage continued to grow. The smarter fighter wasn't doing more, he was doing less, but better. Not working. By the middle rounds, it became obvious. Pacquiao was trying harder, but landing less. By the middle rounds, it became obvious. Pacquiao was trying harder, but landing less. The pressure was still there, but the results weren't. Every round seemed to follow the same pattern. Pacquiao would push forward, looking to change the fight, and Ugas would calmly shut the door. The jab was still working. The counters were still finding their target. And with every passing minute, Ugas looked more confident. He wasn't just defending anymore. He was dictating the pace. That's when the fight truly turned. Not because of one big moment, but because of dozens of small victories that kept adding up. Round after round, the same story unfolded. Pacquiao chased. Ugas controlled. But he was still fast, still dangerous, but he couldn't solve the puzzle. He was still creating opportunities. He was still finding moments to attack. And every now and then, you could see flashes of the fighter who dominated this division for years. But boxing isn't just about speed. It's about timing, distance, and decision-making under pressure. That's where Ugas had the advantage. He stayed disciplined from the opening bell to the final round. He never gave Pacquiao the kind of fight he wanted. Instead, he forced him to adapt. And on that night, Pacquiao simply couldn't make the adjustment. Not because he was too old, but because the puzzle in front of him was harder than expected. Same mistake. And that's what made this fight so fascinating. It wasn't decided by one punch, one round, or one dramatic moment. It was decided by consistency, by discipline, by a fighter who stuck to the plan from start to finish. While Pacquiao searched for answers, Ugas kept asking the same questions. And by the final bell, the result felt inevitable. The signs had been there all along, hidden in plain sight.